This conversation was supposed to start about 5 minutes ago. We couldn't make the connection. We caught him late. This dude's been sitting around through the entire commercial break. You never make this man sit around for anything. Defending the WBC and the Ring Heavyweight Championships of the world on April 24th against Dillian Whyte, who didn't show up to the press conference today. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest heavyweight walking, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Yeah! What's up, big man?
I was thinking, what the fuck is going on here with these boys? One man's playing golf in his underpants. The other man's having a smoke and a cigar. I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, welcome to the show, man. I'm sorry we had to keep you waiting there. We're in the middle of a commercial break on the radio portion of the show. We are honored to have you, man. What happened today? Why'd this dude not show up at the press conference? You're the global sensation. You are the global star. People are paying attention because the Gypsy King's a part of this. Then this dude doesn't show up at the press conference. What's this all about? And should I know more about this than I do right now?
One word. Pussy!
You think that's what it is?
This guy's a little bitch. He's going to get knocked out, and he knows it, and he doesn't want to see me face to face because he's a bit afraid of me getting in his mind, all his mind games bullshit that they like to play these days. I'm an old school throwdown fighter. I like to get close and personal.
We saw you with Deontay Wilder. I think that's when you were really introduced to the American audience at a broader scale. I honestly believe that, just outside of the boxing world, because I was maybe one of them the first time I saw you box. Hey, the first time, I'm not a big boxing guy. I don't know. First time I saw you box against our guy, the American. Hey, the Alabama Hammer or whatever. I'm like, all right, we got two heavyweights, two great fighters, how this was being billed. I'm like, I'm going with the American because I'm a dumb American. I turned on that fight. I saw you, and you're moving and then picking him up. I was like, I fucking love this guy. And then you cut the promo. You sang, I think.
Yeah.
You're like the most interesting human on earth. I hope you know that you have a lot of fans, and you only continue to do so. And now that I've learned a little bit more about you, I think it was on the Gary Neville show, you talked about time and everything about how it's such an interesting thing about you can't think about yesterday. You have to be in the current moment. At what point do you think you got into that? And are you in your prime right now, you think? And how long do you think that continues to happen?
I'm definitely in my prime right now. I'm a big believer in living in the moment. And time is of the essence. Time is the only thing we really do have moments in it. So it's how we spend our moments in time. And in my spare time, I'm going to start playing golf in my underpants.
Hey, it's a good time. It's a good time. You don't have to be that good either. It's a distraction. But whenever you talk about your fighting abilities, and obviously we've heard your dad's electrifying on the microphone. And, you know, the Gypsy lineage is like a tough lineage, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But you're like the greatest of them all. At what point do you think you know you're going to be an incredible fighter? And, like, when do you know you're in your zone? Like, when do you know, like, all right, this is the best I can be and this is the best I'm going to be?
I think I knew I was going to be an awesome fighter, heavyweight champion of the world, when I was coming out the womb. I was born for this. And growing up, I was just doing more and more boxing, more and more fighting. And then I turned professional, and I definitely knew I was going to be heavyweight champion of the world. There was never a disbelief, ever. It was always the ultimate confidence. It was going to be heavyweight champion of the world or nothing. And I had a lot of hard fights along the way, and I'm still having hard fights today. How long can it continue for? Who knows, but I'm having a hell of a ride.
Well, we're lucky to be a part of it and to witness it and to be alive at the same time as it's happening. And if you're focusing on boxing when you're a kid, that's hard, right? I mean, I was a punter in the NFL, easiest job in the NFL, okay? But I got to watch a lot of people. The amount of work you got to put in to be a football player for the physicality and your body and the beating. I couldn't even imagine what it is in actual hand-to-hand combat. Through your entire life, your training and how the hours had to be fucking just miserable, huh? I mean, how do you keep like such an upbeat personality through it all?
Oh, it's horrible. I train twice a day, 5 days a week, once on a Saturday. I've been doing that for the last 20 years or more. It's been a crazy roller coaster of hard work. I don't even know I'm still in one piece. I've had 1 million operations. I've had 1 million broken bones and damage done to me. Cuts, bruised, battered to fuck. But I'm still here. I'm still fighting away, and I'm still knocking motherfuckers out. And that's how we roll.
Hey, still love it? Yeah? Love every day? Love the process? Love everything about
listen, I'm coming towards the end of my career now. I've not got a lot left in me. But the old dog has still got a couple of tough fights left in him. And what do? We fucking drink alcohol, get fucked up, and punch people's faces.
I love everything about that.
People say to me, what are you going to do when you retire this year? I'm like, that's easy. Fucking get fucked up every single day. I think of all the hard work that I don't have to do.
Okay, so let's talk about that. People are talking about you retiring very soon. Is that a very common conversation?
Yeah, I'm 34 this year. I've been in boxing 14 years as a professional. I've been boxing over 20 years. I've got a lot of wear and tear on me. I'm the undefeated 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. Special elite members only club. There's only ever been one person before me retire unbeaten, and he goes by the name of Rocky Marciano. And I'll be the second one.
Okay.
It's like a connoisseur of elite level club. Elite boxers only.
Hell yeah.
2 in the history of mankind.
Golly. Hey, that's a hell of a fucking goal that you're going to be able to achieve. That's a legacy. And when you were talking to Neville, you were talking about time. You said you don't watch any fights back. You have to have conversations while you're getting shit-faced about your legacy and about everything. You have to, amongst your friends and family. You have to. Do you think about that or you can't? Are you at the point now where you can think about that?
You know, the legacy to me, I'm not too concerned about the legacy. When I'm getting fucked up, I'm getting fucked up. I'm not thinking about work. The last thing I want to talk about is my work.
What do you do? Hey, what do you do, Tyson, whenever you're getting after it? What are you drinking? Where are you at? What music are you?
I'm drinking everything and anything, and I do not know when to go home. There is no home time, especially if I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh, hey. I'd put a self-ban on myself on that city for similar reasons, I think, is what you are speaking of. You still get after it to this day, even in the middle of fight camps and everything, or is that whenever you're done?
No. While I'm in fight camps, I'm alcohol-free. But I have been known to go out on nights out and get absolutely smashed in fight week. So, yeah.
So what
Not so clever, but I've always won, so it doesn't really matter.
Hey, Tyson, there's not a lot of people that are going to tell you what the fuck to do, dude. Like, I don't know at what age you found that out, but there's not a lot of people on earth that can tell you what to do, which has to feel pretty good. What is your fight camp regimen? You said you're going 2 a days for 5 days, and then you got 1 on Saturday, and you've been doing that for however. Do you eat something? Because you're a massive, you are a fucking massive human being. I mean, I assume you have to eat, everything's calculated? You have the nutritionist and everything like that?
Yeah, I got one of the world's best nutritionists, George Lockhart. He does all my nutritional stuff. He does everything for me, like that sort of stuff. But I put most of my success down to masturbation 7 times a day.
You got this guy, you can
Honestly,
pop. You can really pop.
Got to keep that blood pumping, baby.
Oh, that's amazing. Is that why you think you throw such bombs? Because you've been accused of having shit in your gloves and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
What's that all about? That's because you're.
And the only thing I've been loading is testosterone from all the wanking over the years.
I saw that in what was that show? What was that? There was that show,
Mythbusters?
Mythbusters did it with a boxer, actually, because the old myth was
Women weak in legs.
Yeah. Beforehand. Then they did on Mythbusters, like, no, actually, you get more testosterone immediately afterwards. It makes you stronger. You've been doping testosterone with your right hand, huh? Wow. Going to town on yourself.
Right hands and left hands, depending on what I feel like.
At this point, is there anything you can get better at in the ring, or do you think you know your fighting style? You know what you're perfect at.
You know, I like to just go in there and have a brawl, have a good fight with the opponent, whoever it is, whatever it is. Go in there and do your best. You know, that's all we can do in life. A lot of people put pressure on themselves, thinking, "I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that," but me. I'm happy with being a big, fat, bald-headed guy who knocks people out. People say to me, "Oh, you're out of shape, you're fat, you're this, you're that," but I'm the only one who's still undefeated after 13 years. 32 fights in a row unbeaten. From a big fat guy, 277 pounds, bald-headed. Come on.
Yeah, but I think that's why you're loved in America so much. Mm-hmm. I think when we were introduced to you, whenever we were introduced to you through the Deontay Wilder fight, we're like, oh my God, this is the greatest boxer of all time. Yeah. He's a heavyweight. He throws bombs. He talks shit. He sings. And if we were 6 foot, how tall are you?
6'9".
If we were 6'9", we would hope that we'd be built like that, and we would beat the fuck out of people. Like, I think you were one of the most relatable people, even though you're an anomaly, honestly. And I think your entire story about how you got into the game, and then, you know, you went through some stuff mentally, and then now you've come back, and we've all kind of got introduced to you. I think it's really fucking awesome. I honestly believe you should think about that sometimes when you're blacked out, drinking whatever, singing whatever every once in a while.
Yeah, sounds good. You know, it's I never ever hid anything from people. I had alcohol problems, drug problems, mental health problems, weight issues. I've had all the problems in my life, and you know what? I'm still here batting, telling the story. I'm still fighting.
You look good, man. You're still. And by the way, this interim champ not showing up at the press conference. What are we doing?
Yeah,
That's bullshit.
not a good idea.
Hey, that's bad content too. Like I think if I'm him and I'm his agent or manager, I would want him to be around Tyson Fury at all times.
Yes.
Right? Like if there's an opportunity to be on the same stage, hey, let's go ahead and get you there. But I guess you're saying that he doesn't want you getting in the headspace. Is that something that is real in the combat sport, you think? Like when those stare downs happen, is something actually happening there, or is that just you think?
I think it's a load of bullshit. All that stuff, the mind games and whatever else. But a lot of these fighters read into it a lot. I'm not one of them who really care about it all. Like, I single-handedly held this press conference on my own today here in London. A room full of press. It really makes no difference if they turn up or not, because they don't really get a lot of time to speak. Because I do all the talking. If you haven't can tell already, I'm an excellent talker.
Yeah, you are. You should do
mic,
more.
Line me up and let me go.
Yeah, you should do more talking, by the way. But do you think when those stare downs happen, because they've been happening since the history of combat sports, and there's some people like Conor McGregor takes it very serious whenever he's, he does it, he has his entire routine. I don't know if it's for show or not. Do you think there is a physical advantage to those types of interactions and stuff like that for you?
I think so, yeah. I think if you can get in a fighter's mind, he thinks about it when he goes home, and it affects his training. And all he can think about at night is you. All he can think about when he wakes up in the morning is you. And then you're living in his mind rent-free.
Did you ever have anybody that did that to you when you were coming up?
Never. Never. I never believe in all that stuff. I eat hamburgers and drink beers before fights.
You're the absolute best. Ty, go ahead.
Tyson, you've beaten every world-class heavyweight that they've put in front of you. You're clearly the best heavyweight in the world. Are you at the point in your career now where it's like, fuck it, I don't have anything else to prove, or do you still have that same chip on your shoulder because all these people, they say all this shit about you, whether it's you're out of shape or whatever the case may be? Like, do you still have that chip on your shoulder when you're going into fights, or not really?
Yeah, I feel like I've got a lot to prove in this next fight. This could be my last fight. We don't know.
Whoa, is that public? Is that public?
No, that's exclusive for you guys.
Oh, hell yeah.
Whoa.
Well, first of all, thank you for everything you've done for sports, and thank you for that little drop there. But go ahead, back to what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Now I've totally fucking forgot what I was going to say.
No, you're saying this, you have a lot to prove in this, you think, because it could be your last.
I still feel like I've got a lot to prove in this fight. I want to go out as the undefeated world heavyweight champion, and I'll be happy. I'm focused on making a Hollywood movie after the fight on my life of Tyson Fury. I've got a lot of stuff I want to do. So boxing is a small part of it, but I've got to finish. I've got to finish what I started all those years ago. And join that elite level club that I was talking about earlier.
So whenever you start thinking about retirement, I retired early. You wouldn't know that. My position was irrelevant. But I retired early after making a Pro Bowl. It was like my best year I had. I retired early. But mentally, I was ready to move on. Whenever you think about retirement, especially after all that you've accomplished in boxing and also in the WWE, you're a big-time star. You're great in the WWE. Yep. I was very lucky to be a fan to watch you over there. You're making a movie. How long have you been thinking about the next thing? Has this always been something, or at what point did you say,
I was always concentrating on boxing for a long period of time. But now, like I say, I'm getting towards the end. When you get towards the end of your career, when you're getting too long in the tooth for the game. I've achieved everything. I made a hell of a lot of money. I'm financially secure. Don't need to do this. But now it's about having enjoyment in my life, looking after my kids and my wife, spending time with the guys, traveling around the world, just doing the normal stuff that I've missed out on for the last 20 years.
It sounds like this is your last fight, man. Listen, there's probably going to be a lot of money available to you to come back and box somebody at some point. I mean, that's the way the world
Yep. It works like that.
Yeah, it does. So although, you're thinking about going and taking time, I'm assuming the fight game will always be something that'll be tempting you to get back. But man, what a fucking run for a 34-year-old.
Hell yeah.
Huh? What a run. 34.
Thank you, guys. One of the most exciting, great shows I've been on all day, and I must have done 250 interviews, and this was the best.
Well, hey, we appreciate that, man. Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on Ticketmaster for the April 23rd blockbuster. Potentially the last time we see the greatest heavyweight going, Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, against that bum, Dillian Whyte. Hell yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, buddy. Have a good one.
Best.
Hey, you too, man. I'll see you at some event somewhere. Later.
See you soon, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yep. All right, so I want to drink. I don't want to get into a drinking thing with him.
No way.
6'9".
Are you kidding me?
Listen, younger me, okay, would have signed up for one of those nights. Like, hey, I've heard legendary stories about old Cuzzy here. We're going to meet him. I'm going with him.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going with him. Let's just see, because I feel like I have to represent for my group of friends, both at Plum. I have to represent for Morgantown. I have to represent for everybody. Like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead. And by the way, I've kept up with some. Like, there has been some. For the McAfee family as well. I mean, there has been, and for that 0.01% too. That's right. I mean, let's not forget about it. There has been some that I feel like I've performed very well, and they've said, hey, yeah, McAfee can go, people will say. There's been a couple of evenings where I should not have gone. Yeah. And I could not have gone. And
valiant try.
It was a bad decision. Yeah. That's one of those. And I think that's what 34-year-old me, shout out to me and Tyson Fury, being the same age, 34-year-old me thinks about that maybe 29, 30, 28, 21, 20-year-old. There was a period there where I wasn't allowed to by the NFL, but that's the maturity of that. That guy has to drink everything in the fucking building.
My God. Can't even imagine.
They are sending people to the liquor store while the club is open when he's there.
Yeah.
That is an amazing time. You see people running out the back doors, running in with more. That is the type of stuff I bet he does. His retirement party is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God! Sounds like this is his last fight, though, huh?
Yeah,
100%.
He did 200 interviews. He definitely said that somewhere else. That was
probably.
Maybe.
It's our first time talking to him. If he was to bless us with that quote, that would be one of the coolest things of all time.